Hi Vishal, welcome to DC Conversations. First, you can talk about your company and then we'll go move on to the rest of the questions.
So let me give you a quick overview of where I work. So I work in this German company called SUSE, SUSE, but it's the German pronunciation is SUSE, and we have been around for over 30 years. We started off as an enterprise Linux company, and over the years we have branched out into a lot of other tech domains such as cloud native, edge computing, and over the past couple of years we have also been doing a lot of innovation in the AI space. Something that is very unique about us is that we are one of the pioneers in open source, something that everybody talks about today. We started with open source in the early 90s, and even till today, everything that we do is based on the principles and ethos of open source. And simply what that means is every software that we provide to our paid customers, we will also have the same code base. The same bits is also available for download from the open source communities. So that's very quickly what we do. We are present all across the globe. We have operations in Europe, Middle East, and Africa, in North America, Latin America, as well as all the 6 major markets in Asia Pacific.
Talking about open source, why do you think it's important, for businesses adopting AI technologies?
That's a question that I often get a lot. And if you look at artificial intelligence today, right, one of the things, Rishmi, that you will very, very quickly realize about artificial intelligence is that it is evolving so quickly. I mean, I know that you and I are looking at all the new innovations that are coming out in AI, and it's very difficult for us to keep pace with this rapid innovation. But if you look at this rapid innovation, why is there rapid innovation? There's rapid innovation because the innovation is happening across multiple sectors. It's not dominated by a single vendor. Because AI itself is such a complex domain, right? And you will notice that all this innovation is due to open source. There are a lot of open source communities doing a lot of innovation in artificial intelligence, and that is why open source is especially important today. Without open source, I don't think AI or even things like cloud native will be around. Second reason why I would say open source is very critical, especially when we talk about AI technologies, is the whole model of open source operates on a principle of transparency and trust. So what that means is because communities are building open source software, everybody can look at what's happening within your code base. And so that gives you transparency in terms of what actually your software is doing. And that's very important, especially for AI, right? Because one of the large concerns that we have with regards to AI is it's black box. You do not know what's inside. You may not know how decisions are made. You don't know what are the biases. So open source, to a great extent, helps to alleviate that. And that's why we have open source LLM models as well, right? So we know exactly what's happening behind the scenes. And finally, one of the most powerful, I would say, advantages that open source brings to businesses is this whole notion of being flexible and being vendor neutral. So what that means is that when you use open source technologies, you will automatically inherit these powers of, you can choose whatever software that you want. You can mix and match the best AI tools. You can adapt your technology as you evolve. Ultimately, you're not tied to a particular vendor, a particular roadmap, a particular pricing structure. And this is absolutely important because AI is evolving so fast, you will obviously need to be able to augment technologies in the future. And open source is one way to really help you get there.
How do you think your platform could help companies manage and scale their AI workload?
Sure. So before I start there, right, talk about that. When we talk about AI, we all know that AIs consume a lot of compute because what happens in that black box is very resource intensive. And that means you'll need a very scalable infrastructure. And that is why any platforms that you're using as a base for your AI workloads need to be having the scalability and also that management that comes with scale. So what SUSE does is we provide you with a safe and secure way to deploy your AI applications on an open infrastructure platform, such that you also gain a lot of privacy for your sensitive data, your private data. Uh, Everything can remain on premises and private to you, but at the same time, you can also have the freedom to mix and match how you build your entire AI stack. So our platform itself, we have a platform called the SUSE AI platform, and it's built on top of our cloud native platform. We also have a cloud native platform called Venture Prime. And simply, what is Venture Prime? Think of it as a robust and open Kubernetes backbone for your AI workloads, right? So that is basically what we have. That's our platform. And why this platform will help companies with the management and scale concerns. It's if you think about Rancher is your Kubernetes backbone. And when you talk about a scale, Kubernetes is very, very efficient at automatically granting you scale for your applications, and that is something that you get, and that is something that is very important for your AI workloads. So with Rancher Prime, you automatically get that, and plus, what we also allow you to do is that wherever your workloads are running, and wherever you have Kubernetes certified versions of Kubernetes running, you will be able to scale to these environments very easily. So in a nutshell, the underlying infrastructure on top of which our AI is built, which is Kubernetes, that itself automatically gets you the scale that you need. But in addition to that, right, there is also the other piece about management, right? So what we allow you to do is that, as you are scaling, you may want to burst into different environments. You may want to use cloud providers. You may want to burst into the edge. You may want to use your on-premises environments for your AI workloads. And what Rancher Prime, that AI platform that we on top of which that our AI platform is built, it also provides you with a common control plane. So it's like, think of it as like a single pane of glass that helps you manage these disparate environments where your AI workloads are running, or newer environments that you will set up where they need to scale. Uh, this is something that we allow you to do as well. So this is how our AI platform addresses the management and scaling concerns for AI workloads.
What's the benefit of using containers instead of virtual machines for app deployment?
I've been working in this space for um, I would say since 2012. I had the chance to do that, and it is very interesting that when I started working on it, I knew what are the benefits, but it is only over the past five years that I actually see a lot of customers really getting that in production environments, and that's because today's containers are the de facto. Now, the first benefit that you get is portability. What I mean by portability, very simply, is this, and this is, I would say, portability compared to, let's say, the traditional way of building applications on virtual machines. Virtual machines have an operating system, and then the application is on top of that. Containers just package the application. So basically, it's a package that can run consistently on any environment, on any public cloud environment, on any on-premises environment. So that gives you the portability. Once you create a container, it can run anywhere. So for an enterprise, this is very important, because if today, for certain reasons, I want to switch from one cloud provider to another cloud provider, I don't need to worry about the functionality of my application. I know it is going to work well. Secondly, is scalability. And we talked about scalability earlier, about how the SUSE AI platform helps you get scalability through Rancher Prime, which is a Kubernetes stack. But ultimately, the smallest component that helps, the lowest common denominator that gets you scalability is containers. Like I mentioned earlier, right? Containers just have the application and what you need for the app to function. It doesn't have the very heavyweight OS and other non-related dependencies. So because they are so lightweight, you can start them up very quickly, and because of that, you could also scale them very quickly if you want. So for example, if you are running a promotion for Diwali and you will expect a lot of people to go to a shopping mall, on online shopping mall, if it is if that application is built using containerized architecture, you can spin up an on-demand scale because containers can start up very, very quickly. So the dynamic scaling is something that you get automatically. And this is the same case for AI as well, that especially when you are doing training or inference, that scalability will be very important. And the last thing is business agility. When we talk about business agility, we are really talking about getting your applications to market faster. And why containers make it possible is because of the fact that they are more nimble. They only contain the sets of functionality that an application, specific sets of application functionality is in specific containers. So in the past, when applications were built, you have a monolithic application which has everything that the application needs in one application. Now we have broken down into multiple microservices, and basically each microservice is a container. So the one big application becomes many. So if you want to change something, you may just go to that container that has that feature, you change that, and then you deploy. So what that means is, from a testing angle, from a reliability angle, you don't need to test the entire app. And that's how you get that agility, because everything can be now pushed to your production environment faster. So these are the three top benefits that you get when you use containers.
And how does your open source solution simplify the transition to cloud native environment?
So before I talk about that, right, I want to also talk about the top three things that because I talk about cloud native to customers on a day-to-day basis, literally. And these are the three most common challenges that I hear from customers who want to move to cloud native environments. First thing is, the infrastructure teams will complain that, hey, cloud native is very complex because there's so many moving parts. And then you have your development teams. They will complain that, hey, before I can even start coding on cloud native, I need to know so many things about the underlying infrastructure. And then the security teams will also say that, hey, I struggle with security and troubleshooting issues in our cloud native environments. So what we are trying to do with our open source solution, right, which is our cloud native platform, Venture Prime, is to address these three issues on the challenges that infrastructure teams, development teams, and security teams are facing. And how we do that is, through our offering, we are providing to the infrastructure teams a common control plane, a singular way to consistently manage your entire operations, which could stretch from multiple cloud environments to on-premises environments to very far away remote edge environments. Secondly, the platform itself abstracts all the complexities and peripheral cross-cutting concerns with regards to security, with regard to cloud provider nuances, so that your development teams can focus on what they are best at, which is writing applications. So let the developers focus on writing applications. Let all of the other complexities be taken care of by Venture Prime. And finally, security teams, right? They struggle with security and availability of the application. So Venture Prime is also integrated with security and observability capabilities. So security teams will then have a very easy way to drive compliance, to address zero-day vulnerabilities, and also to very quickly resolve application reliability issues.
One last question. Any advice to businesses looking to future-proof their technology stacks for AI advancements?
I mean, when we talk about AI, everybody has different type of advice. I think where I want to really talk about here is, AI is going to be there for the long run, correct? So whatever decisions that we make today need to be those that will be insulated from technology and non-technology changes that we see in the market. And to do that most effectively, three things we absolutely need to ensure. The first one, which is, I would say, I cannot emphasize the importance, is embrace ecosystems, AI ecosystems that are open in nature, because we have all seen in software, right? The downsides of getting locked in. And when it comes to AI, it's even more critical because it's not just about getting locked in and then be at the ransom of vendors from a cost angle. You also have data in the picture, and data is even more precious than it is even more expensive than whatever you may be paying for today for a system. So embracing open system ecosystems, leveraging open source LLMs, and ensuring that the entire infrastructure that you're building for AI workloads, that is also very open. Like I mentioned earlier, newer technologies will come, right? So you need to be able to extend your whatever you have built easily. And open source is the one sure way of building an architecture that is extensible so that it supports newer use cases of AI in the future. Number two, which is also very important, especially for business teams, right? Which is we need to absolutely ensure that security and observability underpins any AI initiative that you're driving.
Yeah.
We all know the concerns with AI, right? We are going to be pumping all of our data into the LLMs. So we want to make sure that number one, the data that we are pumping in is safe. Nobody can steal it. Nobody can access it by some ingenious method using some prompting, clever prompting, and then getting sensitive data out. We want to make sure we don't do that. So we need to incorporate technology that prevents bad actors from stealing data, from compromising data, basically from compromising your AI system. Number two, which I think has even greater implications, is trying to make sense out of what is coming out of your AI systems. So today, ask the AI systems questions and we put prompts and we get a response. We do not want to, and I think over a period of time, what I think will happen is we will begin to trust everything. We won't have the time. Today, we consciously try to validate, right? Because we are being told that they always trust because AI systems can also hallucinate. But over time, I think we will become very, very, I would say in a way, too comfortable and we may not even want to do that. So in that case, what's important is that the people who are building AI systems in enterprises especially need to really understand what's happening inside. And that's where AI observability becomes extremely critical. And by AI observability, what I mean is really trying to understand, when I put in a certain prompt and the information that is coming out, is that information that is coming out, is it safe? Are there guardrails in place to help me ascertain what's coming out is safe? Is the output that is coming out, is it biased? Because over time, as you do more and more prompting, as you put more and more data, the initial training that you have done can drift. The outputs can drift because the AI system learns, right? Relearns. So we need to make sure that it's constantly checked for drifts, and we also want to make sure that everything in AI is explainable. Because if AI is going to be the de facto way of doing business in the future, what about things like mission critical environments, like legal environments, like medical environments? We need to be able to explain why, or government policies, right? We need to be able to explain why certain decisions were being made, why certain outputs came out. So this is going to be very important. And I think lastly, for massive adoption to occur, we need to have environments that are scalable in nature. We have seen examples of how a very popular open AI platform, the Gen AI platform that everybody knows, went down for a couple of hours, or I don't know, for like 24 hours or what, and everybody was so anxious, right?
Yeah.
So scaling is going to be very important because AI consumes a lot of resources, and we need to make sure that our architecture is designed in such a way that if one environment goes down, we have other environments where failover can happen, and there would be scalability, portability, and agility. So these are the three things, embracing open ecosystems, prioritizing security and observability, and adopting a cloud native architecture for your AI platforms.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vishal. Thank you for all the insights.
Yes, Rashmi.